welcome back to the Hypervision podcast. If you're coming back from episode 1 of the new season, welcome. We hope you enjoyed that one. It was a little bit, like more of a chill type podcast, just kind of getting back into the feel of things. It's been a few months since we had done one at that point. But we're looking to get back into the groove. We got a real topic for you today. I'm on a little bit more of a calm energy, I think, this time than I was last time. A little less nerves, I think. Before I get into my things, we got our co-host here, Noah Man. How are we?
Hey, we're good. Ready to do another podcast. I was told in our last one that I looked very tired and I was about done. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was pretty tired, so it was a little late one, but we're back here. Can't taste or smell currently, so just got trying to get over COVID. So it's a fun time over. It's been a fun time over this way. So, but we're here.
Yeah, can't taste or smell, but he knows what the best podcast in the world is. The number one podcast.
You're darn right.
Back to my formalities. Shout out to our number one sponsor, Legacy Cornhole. Go check them out. I don't have a link in their bio currently. I probably haven't ever. Maybe I'll start doing that. We'll see if I remember. If I don't remember that, sorry, Bryce, remind me. And we are offering a new service here at Hypervision. If you saw our last Instagram post, you may have seen what it was in the comments. So, we have a lot of guests that want to be on here. We got a lot of people, and there's only so much we can do. Like there's some episodes, me and Noah have planned. That's just us that we worked on a little bit. And then we have some that are planned out already for guests that talked to us like months and months back that were like, yeah, we'll get you on there. We just didn't have time season 1. It was a shorter time. So there's limited spaces for our guests. Now, what we're offering is if you send us, or me, depends on whoever you want to send it to, it doesn't matter, $45 to either of us on Venmo or Cash App. I'll take anything. You can purchase the Hypervision Fast Pass or the Guest Fast Pass, and it shoots you from wherever you're at in the line of, like where you would place of being a guest and how quickly you'd be on there. You go straight to the front. There's a chance you even film the day that you send it to us, depending on if we're filming that day. I don't know. That's just another thing we're offering here. And it's, you don't have to. You don't have to. But if you're listening at this point, you've probably listened to most of our episodes, spent a lot of time.
Or been on already.
Should I get on my that one girl streamer on Twitch that said if you can't donate $5 to us, then you're terrible with your money? I'm asking for 45 here, so I won't do that. And also I'm joking. But also, if you want to buy a Hypervision Fast Pass, be my guest. Be Noah's guest. You can be our guest, literally. That's the whole perk of it. You're on the Hypervision podcast right away. It'd be really funny if we already had you scheduled to film that week and you send it to us.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you anything different. I'll just tell you, yeah, great. You're up next then. But I think that's all my formalities, my sponsorships. Let's see. Today, what do we have? Being content, being present. And that, if you're reading it in the title, because I'll probably have those words in it, it's not being content. That's Michael. When we have Michael on here, if we ever do again, we'll see. He would probably buy a Hypervision Fast Pass.
We would. We are going to have him on. Yes, he would buy a Hypervision Fast Pass. Yes, but Michael is content.
Hopefully.
He is not content. He is content.
He is content. He's not content.
He is not content. No.
Nah, he's doing good. Yeah. This is something I've had written on my little whiteboard right here. I wrote it January 1st. Because, I'm not a huge, I got to get my New Year's resolutions down or something like that. It's cliche, everyone says that. But when you look at January 1st-ish time, it's a good time, you think about things you want to do the next year. It's a good time to reflect no matter what you think about New Year's resolutions. Personally, that's my opinion. So when I wrote down mine, one of mine was to be more present. because, and it's almost a little bit of like being more intentional, maybe. Um, but I wanted to be, like more involved in my friends' lives and stuff like that, where it's more meaningful and I'm not just like there for myself, but I'm there for them and it benefits me at the same time. Stuff like that. Uh, so I don't really have a ton for you that where I'm just going to be like spitting all this knowledge at you of like, this is how I've improved so much of my life to be more present and be more content in things. Because really, I mean, in parts I have, but I haven't figured it out fully yet. Um, I'm still saying a lot. Doesn't matter. uh, Lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so I'm not going to try to like preach at you here because I don't have all the answers. I don't think Noah has all the answers. Who knows? He is much smarter than I am.
I indeed can confirm I do not have all the answers.
That sounded very smart. I don't know. He might be lying.
Okay.
So no, what I want to mostly do is just kind of bring up some points that I've thought of, and then hopefully spark a little bit of discussion between me and Noah. Talk about what we've experienced here, um, and just see if we can, I don't know, maybe enlighten things for you. Spark a little discussion in your head as you listen to it. Hopefully, help ourselves along the way with it. But we'll see. Uh, Before I get into my points, I want to pick your brain a little bit, Noah. Do you see yourself like over the last probably, let's see, 6 months, maybe 3 months, 3 to 6 months? Have you seen yourself being more or less like present and content slash like intentional with the people in your life?
Um, I would say it was back whenever I was living at home for, let's see, kind of after college-ish. I would say I was definitely a lot more involved because I was like close. I was close to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
friends, family, and I think it was good because, I was gone for off to college for 4 years. So, I didn't really get that time. Um, so it was kind of nice actually. But ever since I've been here, I'm not that far away, but ever since I've been here, I think I've kind of actually gone back, like backwards a little bit, where I haven't been. I like to check on people, and I've done less and less of that. I feel like since I've been here, and that's obviously my fault, and I know that. But yeah, definitely need to do better about that. But I'm just kind of checking up on people, not like not like impeding, impeding on people's lives, but just like just checking up on them every once in a while. So
Yeah, just let them know you're there, stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
for sure.
no, that's fair. It's definitely tougher once people aren't 10 minutes from you, five, however far your friends are, in like your hometown friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I've noticed, like, let's see, like Michael, I keep in touch with him every once in a while. He is also very hard to just keep tabs on, and I think he likes it that way also. But I do definitely find myself like realizing every few weeks or a couple months that I'm like, I haven't really actually like checked up on Michael, like talked to him about real things. It's just kind of like, hey, here's something stupid I saw earlier, and then we laugh about that for a little bit.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's also it depends on the friendship, and that really works for us because that's how me and Michael's friendship is a little bit. He might be offended I'm calling it a friendship and not something more, but uh, no, I guess yeah, I've noticed a little bit recently, just because like it's a lot more, it's a lot easier to be more intentional and like you know actually try to soak up the amount of time you have with your friends when you realize like there's not much more time you have being right there with them. Because like when Joe just now moved, let's see, when was that, last week, last Thursday, um, to Nashville for probably for good. I don't know if he's ever coming back to Ohio. He doesn't seem like he wants to, but I don't blame him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot easier then to be like, all right, well, I'm going to make the time I have with Joe a lot more intentional. Like, I'm going to make sure I make it a point to hang out with him, like talk to him about things that like I'm not going to be able to do all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess like once you realize that with one person, it's kind of like it trickles down a little bit, personally at least, to be like, all right, well, I'm doing this with Joe. While I've got these people here, I might as well do the same thing. Like check up on Andrew, check up on Jameson, the people I have around here, and Zach. Um, but I think it's a lot easier when you're in that mindset to just like be like, yeah, all right, I'm good. I'm checking on people. I'm like hanging out with them. I'm doing cool things. I'm doing meaningful stuff with them. Not just I don't want to I don't want to crap on it because it's great. I do enjoy playing video games with people all the time, but like
Yeah.
doing a little bit more, just doing different things. Branching out a little bit of different other things, and a lot of it for me has just been like, if someone asks me to do something, I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll do it. Because it's if they're coming out to ask to me, like, hey, do you want to go do this with me? And it could just be like something they're doing throughout the day. I'm like, yeah, sure. That I feel like kind of helps me not feel more accomplished by hanging out with them, but I guess like I'm sharing a part of their life with them, so it feels more intentional to me because it's not just me like thinking, all right, this is the only thing I want to do. I'm just gonna ask them and whatever. That
Yeah.
makes sense in my head. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else's.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I understand.
All right. So a couple of the notes I had written down about, I guess, let's see, being content. I think mostly my thing with this is just like because of like like being content is something I care a lot about. I want to be happy. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. Um, I think I've talked about that a little bit with like I prefer my balance in my life over what most people prefer, which is like work and stuff like that. I prefer to have more control over the stuff outside of my job and more time to myself and what I do in my life. So that's why I guess being content and being happy with what I'm doing is something I've leaned into a lot. So one thing I wrote down was like, I think this was more along the lines of like, if I'm doing this, then I'm probably not content in what I'm doing in my life. Because the one thing I'd written down was like, I'm constant, like if you're constantly comparing, I feel like that's you seeking out a different life a little bit, seeking out something else that like you like, oh, this person's doing this. I kind of like that more, which then reflects like you reflect back on yourself. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really that content with what I'm doing at the moment. And then these all kind of line up with each other. I had like looking for new things to do, which I think there's a fine line there because I've been doing that a lot with my friends lately. I'm just like, yeah, let's go find some new things to do just because I think it's fun, branch out a little bit. But I had like a little sub point of that. It's like you can't really like sit still or do nothing. And it works for some people, to be very active, just doing things all day. That's what I've been doing a lot lately. Is just being out of the house a lot, hanging out with people. If someone asks me to do something, yeah, go for it. Let's go. But I think it's good to have that time where you can just be like, you can breathe, you can sit down, kick your feet up, do nothing, honestly. And personally, for me at least, that's how it works. I think it's good to have that in my life. And this is mostly what I'm saying. In my life, this is how it works. If I feel like I can't sit still and do nothing and I need to go do things, then I'm probably not too content with myself. But everyone's different. Sometimes
No,
it happens.
I agree. I agree with that. I think having that time to yourself is crucial. I think we mentioned that before on the podcast. Um, Honestly, but yeah, I definitely agree. Something I need to do more actually too is just do more new things with people. Um, I guess obviously it depends with what those are, but if it's not something dangerous, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I definitely
And I
agree.
will say, from what I've seen, uh, since you have honestly moved to Akron, it looks like you've gotten a lot more outgoing.
Yeah, I would say so. I feel, yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I've done some things that I didn't think I'd be doing. Um,
He's not being unhealthy or anything, by the way.
no, nothing. No, yeah, no, nothing unhealthy. I think
Yeah,
it's just like seeing different places, going
yeah,
different places, stuff like that, really. But yeah, I would say for sure I'm a little bit more outgoing now.
yeah. It seems just a lot like you're saying yes more is really all it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, like when you move from a small little Amish town to a big city, you're just doing the things that most people would do, and that's great. Um, it also is fine if if you didn't do those things, but it sounds like you want to at least. So that's good that you're branching out a little bit and breaking out of a little bit of your shell. So I like seeing that. I like seeing my friends happy. Although that might be why you got COVID. Maybe you've been doing too much.
I for sure I know where I got COVID at. I don't know how it happened, but I know where it was, and yeah, we're gonna try and limit that. Too many zaps, too many zaps.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
It looks like you're living a pretty nice life out there.
Yeah, well, somewhat.
I'm not saying like I'm not trying to say like oh you have a perfect life
Not at all. Trust
because
me.
I'm trying to like preach. No, like I said, I wasn't trying to preach this episode. I'm trying to say personally for me, constantly comparing isn't good. So I'm not trying to compare to my life and be like, oh, you know what, Noah's doing great. I'm not happy about what I'm doing. I look at you and what you're doing, and that you're doing more things. And I'm like, that's great. Noah's branching out a little bit. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. It's a fair
Um,
assumption.
Now, this hopefully you're not doing it for this next reason that I have written down is constantly looking to impress. I feel like if
Not at
you're
all.
okay, cool, good.
Not at
Uh,
all.
because personally, I feel like if you're doing it to really just impress or try to please somebody else, it's not really gonna be the like personal healing or like because it's not. I don't think it's gonna give you that like personal gratification or
I was
satisfaction
gonna
that you're.
say the only people that I would try to impress, and I feel like it's kind of a given, is just my parents, my family. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm not saying like impress is like, oh, I'm trying, but like they they see what I do, and job wise or stuff like that. It's like you, you know what I mean. Like I'm not,
I think you're looking for honor more than impress.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, like
Like I'm not trying to
respect.
impress them, but like
Yeah,
just saying like, hey, like you guys raised a good kid. I guess I don't know. It's
there
just
you
like,
go. Talk your crap, Noah.
well, I don't know. I'm not trying to be like uh
Get that ego
pushing
out
you.
here.
No, ego is the enemy, and that's what I've learned. Um, no,
Fun.
but I understand what you're saying, that. But no, I'm
Yeah,
not trying to impress anybody. Um, I could care less what other people really feel about me, but
that's great.
until it's for a lady. No, I'm just kidding.
You're a mile ahead of most people in the world if you can say that and mean it.
See, I can say that, but like, I mean, I really do try and like work on that. Like, I don't care what people think, but
Right.
you know,
I mean, there's going to be a point, like, even the person that cares the least about people think, there's got to be a point for that person where, like, something will break through. It'll get to them. We're
yeah,
human, we're 23, probably not the best mental stability for our age. I'll blame Wilmington College for that.
yeah, that's fair.
No. But it's fine. It's good that you can at least say it, and that at least shows that it's in your mind that you want to be that way, and that you're working on that at least if it's not perfect. But I
Yeah,
mean, it never will be perfect, but it'll be close. Uh, I'm not really, I guess, saying like trying to impress someone is bad. Like you don't want to you know. I mean, I'm currently wearing sweatpants for this, but no one can see the lower half. That's fine. But like, I'm not saying like you don't want to just go out and just kind of like half-ass things.
oh yeah, for sure.
So I guess I don't know. There's like maybe it's impress isn't the word. I guess it's more of the honor thing. Maybe just like the people that are close in your life. Like you know, I want to impress my friends. I want them to think that I'm doing good things in my life, stuff like that. But I don't want it to be like I'm only doing it because I want them to see me as like better than them, I guess. Like
Correct.
I don't
That's
want to
fair.
like I think that's where I'm looking for more of the like
Okay.
looking to impress things is like getting on a pedestal above somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then, that's where the whole ego thing comes in.
Yes. Which ego is the enemy.
We this is I guess a side topic, but my parents like like a weekly thing they do new stuff around the house and they just put things in, and in the hallway or like the stairway up to my like hallway in my room they put a mirror, so I just stare myself face to face in the mirror every time I come up the stairs. It
Mm.
has helped me learn help well maybe I don't. Nah, I still do. It's helped me learn that I definitely have an ego. The amount of times that's how I think you can test it is if when you walk past the mirror, I think you can give yourself a look in the eyes and wonder or not if you have an ego. And I've figured that out within like 4 days. I definitely do.
There you go.
Because today when me and Andrew came back from the gym, I walked up the stairs. I saw it in my eyes. I was like, "Yep, there's the ego." And then I said it to Andrew as I was walking to my room. He goes, "What mirror?" I was like, "The one on the staircase. You just walked straight past." He goes, "Didn't even see it." I was like, oh, "That makes me feel good."
Yeah.
um, yeah. So that's my thing is don't put yourself on a pedestal above other people. That's where things get tricky, especially in friendships and relationships, because then it's not going to turn out how you think it's going to be. It's going to get a little skewed. Um, I actually didn't even realize it. I have it written down right here. Be more intentional. I just now realized it's written down there. Maybe subconsciously I read it and then added in intentional as another word for present and content stuff. Uh, didn't know that was there until right now. But other than that, another thing I had was like being able to be alone. And now I'm not sure with the way I wrote these down, which way I mean that. Because I guess I'm assuming I wrote it in the way of like, if you can't be alone, you're probably not fully content with yourself. And that is the toughest part, probably. That's probably the toughest person to get along with is yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, and that's just a very depressing thing I said. I don't know.
No, that
But
was pretty deep, but I think you're onto something there.
yeah, because I mean, you're always with
With
yourself.
yourself.
Obviously, you are you.
Mhm.
Um, you're not always around your friends. Like even like if you have a roommate, you're not always around that roommate. If you have coworkers, you're not always around those coworkers. I live with my boss. I'm not always around him. You
Yeah.
know. So it's tough because you see yourself at your worst. You see yourself at your highs and your lows. It's a daily thing. And you know everything about yourself. I think. I'm not sure. Figure that one out later. So I think like for myself, it was tougher. Like when I was still here at home, but my parents were in Arizona for those like 4 months they were gone,
Mm.
and then Andrew was out, and I had everyone else on different schedules. I was mostly hanging out just at home by myself, and then every once in a while I would have a friend around. And I know people go around life, they live alone, they just have their work and then they go home, and that happens. Some people it works for, but I'm saying, personally in my life, it does get a little tougher when like you're used to having just people around constantly. And I think part of that ties into like just how quickly things change from being in college with people all the time and then just going straight into the work life as quick as possible.
No, I think I'm a living, breathing version of that right now. I mean, I was around, for 4 years. I was around everybody, or somebody at least, and now I'm just not. Now I have this time every night where I'm kind of just by myself, and there's times where I thoroughly enjoy it, but there's also times where, especially now, since I've had COVID, like these past like 5 days, just been here like by myself.
Right.
Definitely, there's moments where it's like this is kind of tough, but
Yeah. And I think I talked about this a little bit last season of like finding that kind of like balance. Because like when I had that 6 a.m., I would go to bed and 2 p.m. I would wake up during like that first wave of COVID and quarantine our junior year.
Mm, hmm.
I've always talked about like that was the peak of my life, I think, like mentally. Um, just because I was at the perfect balance of I have my family around me because I was forced to stay at home with them. I've got my friends at whatever disposal I want them at because there's nothing else going on in the world. So I can just be like, hey, want to play? And that was enough for me at that point. I could just talk to them on Xbox because I understood the situation of what was going on. That's fine. I'll sit inside and play Xbox for 3 months.
What a great
And,
time.
I had enough time where, like, everybody else would go to bed. I'm still awake because I woke up at 2 p.m. that day. So it's 2 a.m. and I'm good to go. I've got another 3-4 hours by myself.
That's literally
And
whenever I
that's
would get on or get off, I guess.
yeah, because I got you from like midnight to 2 a.m. pretty much. Because everybody
You
else
always,
on our friend groups were asleep.
that was awesome. What a
It really
time.
was. I do miss those days.
I do.
Yeah. I wish I could have them back.
Hmm.
But we can't. We could, but not as often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could. It would be very doable.
Yeah. I could stay up late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't even think I'm fully there because it's happened a lot. Like since Andrew's been back, he's had a pretty busy schedule. He's got a lot of people he needs to fit in. He was gone for multiple months. Um, Other people work. Joe moved. Michael has work and he's an hour away. Stuff like that. Like I get like people have their busy times. So sometimes like with plans fall through, I'm just kind of like sitting there like, hmm, that's tough. And I get over it eventually within like 20 minutes probably. But I think it's still then that's like a reminder to me like, well, I guess that's just I have myself. I have me. I have my me time. But I still haven't really taken any time for that, which I think then proves. I think I said we from last week since I hadn't done like almost any me time that I probably need to work on that and being more content with actually just having time to myself and figuring out what to do with that to make myself happy. Okay, so I've got a couple things like of ways I want to, I guess, try to be more present just in my life or in other people's lives. I want to see before I get into anything I wrote down. I don't know if you've given this thought or anything, I guess, like that, but I want to pick your brain a little bit here, see what kind of stuff you're thinking of. And I guess if you could try to be more intentional in people's lives, what are some things, or what are the ways you go about it, I guess? Or at least, like, from what you've experienced, like, what you think you could work on and stuff like that.
Um, I think for me, really, it's just, I mean, just a simple phone call,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. I don't even think texting is, well, I guess texting would be in there, but I really feel like for me, actual conversation on the phone, I think is actually more meaningful than just, words. Um, and that can either be FaceTime or just calling them in general. I also think, I mean, if you have the ability, I think seeing them in person, you know. I recently got I had I would call one of my best friends, recently had a birthday, and I usually call him every time on his birthday, but like the last time we've actually like hung out was probably like a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and like I called him and we said we were gonna get together, and we haven't gotten together yet. But just right there is like, I still want to like be a part of his life. Um, so, but yeah, I just think it's a simple phone call, honestly, and I think I could, do better with that currently. Um, yeah, honestly, but
That's big. It's also leads, not leads, but it goes back to the thing I always say of you're a perfect salesman. The first thing you think of is get on the phone.
I
That
mean,
does
you're
not
not
work.
wrong. It's definitely, yeah,
No, but it is good because when you get on the phone, you get people to actually talk. And I guess
yes,
over text, you get more composed answers, I guess you could say. Like they can think out what they want to say, but also it might mean that they don't say everything they want to because they have the ability to filter out things they want
It's
to.
fair. Yeah, I just like for me, I just like calling because like you can actually hear what they're saying. You can kind of feel the and it's presenting like emotion, stuff like that. Kind of,
Yeah, you get
um, you
actual,
know,
I guess, like you said, emotion and reactions. Yeah,
yeah. So,
no, I like that because I mean I did it to you guys a lot. I think while I was in those couple months where, like, I was by myself here. I think almost every single day I would FaceTime you and Tyler and stuff like that, and just be like, "Hey,
mhm,
what's going on?"
yeah.
Just talk. It's good. It's always good to talk to your friends. Um, so I think the things I wrote down for being more present were just mostly things in my personal life, probably. But I think you could probably find a way to, I mean, tailor these to whatever you want. Be more present with whatever it is, your work, your hobbies, your friends, your personal life, whatever it is. I think the first one I had, I mean, a lot of these sound like the goals we made for that challenge because the first one is breaking bad habits. Um, and I mean, that is definitely important. If it's a bad habit, you don't want it in your life. That's not really the best thing to have around. So, I mean, they're also pretty simple things because they're things I can come up with, and my brain is very smooth. So, um,
Okay, that's just a lie.
well, you know what? We'll give a little. That's gonna be very loud if I move it. I posted it on the story for Hypervision. I have a very big brain. I had an Albert Einstein moment today. I moved because this. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know how it's gonna sound. Well, hopefully it sounds good. But if you're watching, also, hopefully it looks better because we're on a different recording software finally. Um, this could go terribly. Who knows? We don't have to record this again. I don't know. But
I'm just
when I got
saying, you're
everything,
one of the. I'm sorry.
you
I was
go
just
for
saying. I was just gonna say you're one of the more creative people I've ever met. So
it. Okay, cool.
you and the guy who does the stuff for the rubber ducks are probably the two of the most creative people I've ever met, and that dude is insane. So
This is why
you
I got Nova around.
I just think you just always have, and I would love to be this way. And sometimes I think I am, but I just like to have downtime too much. Is that your mind is always going,
It
and
definitely is.
I definitely know it is because I get those freaking paragraph texts, and I just know, okay, Drew's mind's going. Hey, I don't mind it, man. If
Yeah,
whenever you have an idea and you gotta spit it out any way you can. I don't care if it's over text or anything.
yeah.
But I had to get that. But
That's
yes.
what I'm trying to get better at with this season because I didn't do it last season. That's why I forgot the whole finale topic. It's because I
Yeah.
didn't write it down or anything.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be a lot better about like when I'm in that mindset, just like getting everything out because I don't want to miss out on that stuff because that's when I get my most stuff done. I was up till that night. I think I sent you all those paragraphs. I was up to like 3, just doing anything I could.
I was laying in bed, just the one after the other came out. I was like, all right, man, I love Drew to death.
Oh man! All right, there's an ego filler. See if I can get through the rest of the episode now. I'll just skip to this one because I probably need it now. Taking care of yourself. That's a big one. And that could be as simple as brushing your teeth more often, getting into 2 times a day, even doing mouthwash, flossing, um, going for a run, working out. I'm not even just saying working out to fill your ego of like, yeah, I look sweet right now. Like if I flex in the mirror, I look like a Greek god. No. Sometimes that's what I think. Obviously, guys, I know I don't look like a Greek god. I understand that.
I don't know,
It's
man. You had
just
your
funny.
shirt
Don't
off.
stop.
Coming.
Don't.
Okay. All
I don't
right.
need
Fair
any
enough.
more. I don't need any more.
All right. I was gonna just keep on boosting you, man. But all right.
I don't need any more.
All right. Continue.
The ego is about to explode in a second if you say anything else.
Mm,
Um, but genuinely, like working out, maybe this is just in my life, but I've heard so many people talk about it. It really is just like such a therapeutic type activity. Um, because I've probably talked about it last season. I think like sophomore year when I worked out with Nick and Adam and Tyler. Um, that really was like some of the most freeing things to my mind at that point, because those were a couple rough years of my life in college. But like the times that I spent like just working out, and maybe it was because I was going with people, but I also started to appreciate just like going by myself then, and because I really didn't work out ever before that, and I thought I would hate it. Turns out it's actually pretty cool. I still do it to this day. uh
Yep, I will join you on that journey one of these days.
yes, you will. You said you were I think, what did you say last episode, right, that you were starting to go, or at least we're talking to someone about it?
Yes. So yeah, it's gonna happen once we. So basically, I can only stay here till the end of the year because like our contract with this place is like over with.
Hmm.
So I'm working on moving in with a couple buddies, and one of them is a pretty avid gym goer. Um, so
Gym
yeah,
rat.
we're gonna try and do something for sure. But until
Good.
then, I'd like to get back into like running or doing something. So
I will say I think running is more of a thing of like, if you like it, you like it.
yeah,
Because I can't do it any other time other than like a nighttime run, or like maybe a really early morning run. Other than
that's
that, I'm
fair.
not gonna go out and run by myself. But I will
Yeah.
say the few times I've gone like a nighttime run, it has filled that like same dopamine kick that I
Hmm.
get from working out and stuff like that.
Yep. You get your AirPods in. You get some nice music going to go for a little
Hmm.
run. It's
Yeah,
can be really therapeutic. Yeah.
yeah. Every time me and Andrew run on the treadmill before we work out, I always put the slow, sad music, like peaceful kind of stuff. It's great. Sets
Hmm.
my mind, and I'm ready to go. But yeah, back to taking care of yourself. It's a very big thing, and for guys, it's slightly looked down upon, I guess, to be more not emotional, not in tune with yourself, but like, hmm, what's the words I'm looking for?
I think I know where you're going. I
Like,
think.
I guess I don't know, not vulnerable. I don't know, but even just like take care of yourself, it's almost looked down upon as a guy. Like, I guess now these days it's becoming more. Okay, a second.
Widely accepted.
Now these days it's becoming a little bit more mainstream and accepted, I guess, for a guy to even talk about things like this. Because before it was always like the cliche thing, like, "Oh no, you're a guy, you can suffer in silence," blah blah blah. Like no one cares
Hmm.
about what problems you're
Hmm.
going through. Because also, I will say guys probably have it easier for most things in life. We don't have
Correct.
a lot of crap to go through. And when guys fight as friends, you just kind of be like, yeah, cool, fist bump and walk away, and you're good to go. It's
Yeah.
not the case for a lot of other people. Um, I got really off topic there. Not really. Um, I think it's good for you're like, you shouldn't just ignore the fact that like you can see things that will clearly make you better in your life, and then be like, ooh, I might get judged if I do that, or that's not like the cliche thing. That's not the brand that I've built about myself recently. I say just screw that. If it's something that you think genuinely makes you a better person, helps you in your life, helps you in your walk, whatever it is, go for it. There's no point in like being afraid of what someone's gonna think if you I don't know, read a book, if you go out for a run, if you tell people you want to start eating healthier, if you want to, well, if you want to constantly eat salads, that's what that was going to be my next point. I might judge you a little bit still because you're not a rabbit. There's no point. Um, nah, just kidding. That's the kind of stuff that probably like people might be afraid of. Like people like, oh, if I get a salad, am I going to get judged because I used to be the guy that just ate Doritos and Pop Tarts for lunch? It's good. Growth is great. Honestly, it's crazy to think that, right? Like you start becoming a more real, mature-ish. I can't call myself mature still. Probably I have LED lights behind me, and I'm talking out of a Pringles can. Yeah. But that's my little soapbox there for the episode. It happens every time, probably.
It's fair.
Don't be afraid to take control of your life and get better. Everyone needs to do it at some point, I think.
I agree.
everyone needs to be a little bit more like Noah. Is also a
Well,
thing.
I don't know about that.
I do know about that. They say living like Larry, but I think it's what could I do? Living like Larry. They say it's living like Larry, but it's you gotta live like Noah, I guess. Noah man. Um, yeah, I don't really think I gave a full thing of like this is how you be balanced. I think, I guess that was the point. I didn't want to because I don't know if I fully can. Everyone's life is different. Um, maybe taking care of yourself isn't something that's going to help you. Maybe it makes you worse. I don't see how because it's literally making yourself better. Um, but I think it's good to at least acknowledge the fact in your life that you might not be fully present or content. And there's nothing wrong with also like not being content in your life. It's good, honestly. It's I don't like you shouldn't ever be too content or complacent, I think. You should
Never
always
be too
be
comfortable.
what was that?
You should never be too comfortable.
Right, yeah, that's the never be too comfortable. You always want to, like I said, take care of yourself, better yourself. There's always something else you can do to be a better version of yourself. You will, sorry, this might break your ego. Speaking from the guy that's got his ego bigged up twice in the last like 10 minutes, and probably already had a big enough one from that point on or before that. You're not going to be perfect. I understand that. I'm not going to be perfect. But there's nothing wrong with striving to be the best version of yourself every day. And I get, days will be tough sometimes, it's you're going to put like your sweatshirt's going to get caught on the door one day when you're having a rough day, and that's just going to be the last straw. Something like that. That happens. But I think, it's good to reflect. That's why I think what I need to do sometimes is if I have a more stressful or rough day or just a long day where I'm out all day and whatever, is trying to find that time in your day where you can reflect, sit with yourself a little bit. And I guess even it doesn't have to be alone time really to have that time for yourself. Like if talking to someone else, I guess helps you with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
agree.
that's better. You get more out of it because they ask you
Yep.
questions,
Hmm.
bounce things off them.
So,
Um, I don't know. Do you have anything?
no, I'm all good, man. I like it.
Yeah. Um, that's really all I got. Then I could probably BS another 20 minutes. That would all just come back to the same point. So I'm not going to do that. How do I want to end this one? Because I said we're doing a different thing every time.
Make sure to
You
buy
want to
the.
close this one?
Huh?
You want to close this one?
I can, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening. This has been the second episode of the second season. Um, I will hopefully not have the vid whenever we do the next one. I'll be a little bit better. Make sure to buy the fast pass.
Money
that's
man right
a
there.
that's a crucial part of the Hypervision podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Now,
It
if
is
you take
not.
away anything from this episode, screw the whole being happy, being better. Buy the fast pass.
Yeah, that's just not that. Yeah. Um,
I'll add
no,
a
it's
I'll add a thing to the link tree for our Venmo accounts.
yes, perfect. Just what we need. No, we do. We appreciate everybody listening. Appreciate the feedback. Happy to be back. Ready to keep on going. We got some great stuff lined up. Some great guests. Some great topics. Each of us have topics and guests, and it's gonna be a good time. Always is here on the Heavy Richer podcast. So we thank you again, Drew. Any closing thoughts?
No, I think you got that one perfect. You might have to do all the closes from now on.
I'm here for it, man. I
Yeah.
like it. So, alrighty,
Well,
folks. Well, we will talk to you guys soon, I guess. Peace out.
peace.